It was my very first tournament of the year, and since I was a little novice, I was so stressing. And so Miss O started telling me some horror stories of some weird things that kids have done during rounds to calm me down. And we flash forward to my last tournament of the year, and it's first round, I'm tired, we had a super long bus ride. This cutie little kid goes up to give his speech, and in the middle he starts, I kid you not, peeing his pants. And there's a little puddle forming on the ground, and he didn't know what to do, so he just asked the judge if he could leave, and he ran out, and there was a little puddle, and I just didn't know what to do. Yeah.
My favorite speech memory was when I got a 2 in a round. And several reasons why I didn't get a 1 on the critique sheet, the judge wrote about how nice my red tie is. I appreciated that. Good to know she liked my tie.
My best memory of speech this year is the night before my first tournament. Eve and I hadn't worked with our coach yet, so we were freaking out. But Paige and Sierra offered to stay and help us. We were here until 6:30 working with the 2 of them, and ever since, I felt such a bond to them. And their leadership has helped me in speech so much. I'm going to miss them so much when they're gone.
When the world began. On an early morning in August, I slept while the world was busy getting itself born. I can tell you now that nothing existed before this morning. No. Everything began with him. Give thanks to God, Karina, heaven has given you a brother. The creature was in my arms. I stared at his face.
Questo primo è il mio fratellino. È il mio fratellino.
I announced to my bravest 2.5-year-old boy. I can tell you this moment, the baby did belong to me. For a child, the world is an innocent place, where miracles and magic are always possible if you just believe. For Chi-Chi, a young Italian girl whose family has recently moved to Minneapolis, her world is her little brother Marco. She believes he is hers to protect, and she must summon these everyday miracles to guard his fragile life. As American author Kurt Vonnegut once said, enjoy the little things, for one day you will look back and realize they were big things. I Love You Like a Tomato, by Marie Giordano. But then the priest arrives. See how hard this baby takes in bread? The blue hue to its skin. And God's will be done. And they baptize young Marco so he won't go to hell, but he is not dead yet. And I tell Marco, Mama, he won't die. I know this for a fact because I, Letizia Cicimagiodino, am his angel. Marco lives through the day and the night. 3 times that winter, Marco received last rites. I prayed for sick Marco. I am his angel after all. Marco, he lived through the year, and the next year, and the next. When I was 10, Marco went to camp, and I went around the apartment in search. Mama, what if he forgets to take his medicine? Oh, what if he gets cold? What if he falls in the lake? Oh, basta enough. Your nose going to fall off, you worry so much. And Marco finally came home. How sparkly the street became. He hopped at my side, touched my arms, my face. He had so much to tell me.
You want to know what this one kid at camp called me? He called me an FOP.
You ever heard of that? Fresh off the boat. Do I look like I am fresh off the boat to you? You want to know why he called me that? He called me that because I did not know the words to Home on the Range. There it was. You tried to fit in. The fact that you are right at home on the range. What is range anyhow? A stove? The weather was an autumn. An autumn of pale orange. Autumn in our hair and in our nose. And Mark coughing again. Mama, Marco needs to see the doctor. He has a fever. They pushed Marco through the double doors of the hospital emergency room in a wheelchair. A figure small enough to evaporate. It was then when I began my serious dedication to keeping Marco alive and on this earth. The ward they put Marco in was dark and smelled like boiled potato. A small figure covered in a thin blanket, hunched over in a wheelchair. Here is where I lost control. Where somewhere inside a string was pulled, and I turned into an astral body, jumping and turning circles and tapping my feet. And Marco raised his head and watched. I stood by his side and took his hand. His fingers tightened around mine. He smiled.
I think I am a maid. A wolfie inside.
A new word came to us then. Tumor. But we couldn't imagine surgery, the process of it, mystery. It dawns on me then. Marco, my brother. He might not fit well. The waiting hurt. Marco's absence from his bed felt like a torn eyelid. When they finally wheeled Marco in, he had a plastic bubble over his face. Marco, my brother. I took a deep breath, stood by my silent brother's side, and sang soft and sweet. Viato, viato, Marola. My daughter, she is singing. I love you like a maid. My brother needed his angel. Come on, Marco. Breathe, Marco. Breathe, my brother. He breathed. He did not die. Marco, my brother. He came home.
Good evening. That was Senior Paige Mangan performing her prose piece, I Love You Like a Tomato by Maria Giordano. Throughout her 3 years on our team, Paige has been a 2-time state medalist, a Glen Brooks quarterfinalist, a consistent finalist at all of our Saturday tournaments, and one of the best friends I could ever ask for. One of my fondest memories in my time in speech is walking around through the hallways with Paige, listening to Justin Timberlake and Moulin Rouge and dancing and singing along. And I'm going to miss her more than anything next year, but I know that she's going to do great things at Luther College as a psychology major for the next 4 years. Thank you, Paige. And now I'd like to welcome you all to the 2013 Roseville Area High School Speech Showcase Night, Ovation. Our team has had a very successful season this year, and we are very excited that we get the chance to share our talents with you. Speech is made up of 13 different categories, all of which will be featured this evening. Every Saturday, we wake up very early, travel to our tournament site, and there you'll usually find high schoolers dressed in fancy suits and talking to walls. But that's not all that speech does, and tonight we're here to show you what we do. First up this evening, we have categories of poetry and extemporaneous reading. Poetry is typically made up of a few different poems combined to make one program. Extemporaneous reading is a draw category in which students draw from 15 different stories and then they perform one each time they go into their rounds. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming the poets, Carly Abbott, Miranda Anderson, Rita Gangle, Veronica Knudsen, Deborah Pitter, Morgan Riddle, Christina Corey, and the extemporaneous readers, Cheryl Zhang, Destiny Muñez, and Nicole Lewis.
Nobody. Why, there's no one following me at all. It stands to reason that if someone had been chasing after me, they would have caught me. I'm not a very fast runner. Just the same, it's nice to be home. She put her hand up to the light switch and stopped. What? What? Behind her in the living room, a man cleared his throat.
Bingo sat in his study, looking at the open tree. It was covered with yellow handkerchiefs. 20 of them, 30 of them, maybe hundreds. The tree that stood like a banner of welcome, blowing and billowing in the wind, turned into a gorgeous yellow blur for the passing bus. As the young people shouted, Wolfkind rose from his seat, holding tightly, and made his way to the front of the bus to go home.
The baby didn't make a move or a sound. Just about then, the wind started chattering in the trees, and the little sprinkles of rain started dripping down the branches. We stood a little closer and watched his face.
I ain't never been this close to a baby before, I said. Me neither, Justin said.
Well, they're just persons, Sylvie told us softly. They're just little persons, and there ain't no reason to be afraid of that. The wind started whipping at the baby's blanket, and we watched its little nose twitch, like it was getting ready to wake up.
I love a deep purple jazz poem, a trumpet blowing, soothing, a Dizzy Gillespie jazz poem, a plum colored, eggplant colored, twilight colored poem, a deep purple falling over sleepy garden walls poem, me and my purple poem, feeling the love, baby, feeling the love.
Dear heroine, I thought I could leave you, but you were all that I needed. I tried to just leave you. I begged and I pleaded, but I gave in again to your seductive power. And now I sit in filth in need of a shower to cleanse me of this pain and this guilt. I sit like a rose instead.
The bedriding person was pushed the red button to call the nurse. Nurse! I can't breathe! Nurse! I have anger! Nurse. Please just let me die. The cool water rose into which we plunged, screaming into mirage of bubbles. Did not exist beyond the gaze of a boy, lifting up from the cool lipper rim,
concrete and danced to the low beat of the Duke of Earl.
She chewed while bathing in the tub. She chewed while dancing at her club. She chewed in church and on the bus. It really was quite ludicrous. And when she couldn't find her gum, she'd chew up the linoleum, or anything that happened near. A pair of boots, the postman's ear, or other people's underclothes, and once she chewed her boyfriend's nose. She went on chewing till at last her chewing muscles grew so vast that from her face her giant chin stuck out just like a violin. For years and years she chewed away, consuming 50 packs a day, until one summer's eve, alas, a horrid business came to pass.
The oncologist tells him, no more golf. It's 112 degrees for Christ's sakes. It's 5 a.m. after the sprinklers have coated what's left of the grass in a fury of haze and droplets. Pure passion. Not chemo, not radiation, not his wife calling, Bob! Bob, it's time to come in. No, all that matters is here. One little ball whizzing, not connecting shallow holes and bravely numbered flags.
Courage is the price that life grants, boon of living, compensate, for dull gray ugliness and pregnant pain, unless we dare the soul's dominion. Each time we make a choice, we pay, with courage to behold resistless day, and count it fair.
In creative expression, humorous interpretation, and storytelling, these people on our team create and bring to life their own pieces, bring laughter to important situations, and they bring to life the stories from the Brothers Grimm. Please welcome to the stage in creative expression, Paige Igley, Eric Eden, and Tamina Thorne. In humorous interpretation, Hannah Conrad, Sam Strom, Alyssa Wilhelm, Jake Pola, and Sierra Sherwood. And in storytelling, Abby Covert.
Don't you think B-Wags is enough? Well, Snow, I buy you for 7. What? How about last weekend? The shoe fits. All right, Sydney? Oh my God, Char. You cannot be for cereal right now. Like, I already don't see enough of you as it is, and now some bimbo is gonna waltz right in and make it even less? Hey, no. She's no bimbo. In fact, she's quite a lady, if I would say so myself. And I do. Who is it? Char. Her name is Mulan.
Hello, Mr. Tatalia. Thank you for seeing me. Oh, and congratulations on your new promotion. But I'm sorry it had to be at the loss of your father. Thank you, Mr. Tatalia, but please. What is it that you need from me? Ah, well, you see, you know now that our interests are in religious baked goods. And recently we've opened up a new donut front named Amazing Glaze. But we've run into a little problem. A man has opened a new religious bakery across the street, and he's stealing our customers and running our business to the ground. I can't have that happen. So as an act of fellowship, I need you to take care of Mr. Spallone, the owner, and the Holy Canoe. Throwing a baker's dozen on your best donuts and you've got a deal. Die.
Yay, what the heck, you stand there? Yay! You almost forgot your lunch. I kinda tell you, but oh, Jen, who are these girls? Oh my God, Cookie, look, he really is a bub. Actually, Yay, maybe some other time you know when your dad's not around. Dad, why do you have to ruin everything? Ying, what the heck, you hang out with the white girls? Why are you Dad, look around. I'm the only one person here, probably the only Asian, and I hate it. I hate you, Dad. Why can't you just be a normal parent?
The poor queen had gotten herself and her baby boy into a big, big mess. After 2 days of trying to guess the little man's name, she was very unlucky. She had gone to the ends of the earth and even sent out a messenger to inquire names from all over the land. But it was no use. The whole situation made her upset. I am so upset!
told you that!
I suppose you all know why we're here. Because the principal's making me. No, Hunter. The good old annual play festival. No, Drew. I've collected a stack of plays for us to consider. I'd like each of you to read one of these plays and... What the hell are you talking about? I beg your pardon, Elliot. It's in a script, Miss H. We'll all be damned. Jessica! It's in the script.
Hi, I'm Bob. Welcome to Touch the Sky, but I'm coaching. It's B.O.B. Bob.
Oh, hey, Bob. Hey, March.
Okay, I'm your coach. All right. I do hair, I do makeup, I coach boys. And I coach finesse, and I can choreograph a routine. And first things first, Puzzle needs some new headshots, because now look at these gas, hideous scream, I'm dead. Are you okay? Oh, I'm fine. You're fine, little shit. What did you just say? Shit? Smile, hair, eyes, illusion, and talent. S-H-A-I-T, shit. Boy, see it. Shit, Marge.
Hi, Maya. My name is Regina Flechter, and my science fair project this year is, my project this year is,
Hi, my name is Bradley Schmidt, and I would like to present to you my science fair project. The solar system, fact or fiction?
Hi, my name's Tiffany, and my project will answer one of the greatest great angel mysteries of the whole world.
My name is Sam Nerman. I'm in the 7th grade, and I would like to present my entry for this year's science fair. Ew! My mom's facelift!
Hello there, and welcome to my mansion. Now, I suppose you're all wondering, why complete strangers would invite you to a mysterious party? Patience! In due course, all will be revealed. But rest assured that the reason does involve mystery.
You don't take one coffee, please. Hey, what? I didn't mean to ask you.
Gary, there is no oil on my crotch! Ew!
Lila, I asked you, how is the boy you have a crush on?
Oil sounds nothing like crush.
Up next, we get the honor of seeing the talented Sophia Miliotis perform Little Susie Sues God for all he's worth. Not only is Sophia a state medalist and a national qualifier in 2 categories, but she is also in symphony orchestra, and as Mr. Euland says, is as good at running as she is at speech, which must be pretty good, because she's pretty good at speech. Did I mention she's a sophomore? Yeah. I truly cannot wait to see how far she goes in these next few years she has in high school. Now, without further ado, Sophie Miliotis.
Hi, Dad. I'm home from dance class.
Oh, Susie, I've been meaning to talk to you. What was that about? Some tragic
car when it exploded this morning. What? Oh, yeah! See, that's what I was going to tell you about. Your mother also died today, honey. I'm just gonna be in my room for a little bit. Actually, the car was in your room when it exploded. Why was the car in my room? A little dare between the neighbor and I. Needless to say, he won. Have you ever just wanted to sue the pants off of God? I know I have. Like, when you finally gather the courage to ask Teddy Newmaham to prom, so you follow him home to find out where he lives. And one day, while he's at football practice, you cover his bedroom floor with Hershey's Kisses and a sign that says, "Now that I've kissed the ground that you walk on, please go to prom with me." He said no. So, I ate all the Hershey's Kisses alone. But in the following story, little Susie teaches us that blaming all of our little problems on the big man is no solution. In reality, all we need is a little determination and a positive attitude, and anyone can change their situation into something a little more heavenly. Little Susie sues God for all he's worth, by Brandon Daly. Why does everything have to happen to me? God, why does you curse me with such an awful life?
Did someone say sell my soul? No. My name's Johnson Blister Twister, underworld attorney at law. So you're an evil tool from the hands of Satan. Aren't all lawyers? Here, have a seat and listen to my sword presentation. I don't think that's such a good idea. I said, have a seat, little girl! Great. Now, I'm glad the lady came out. Now begins my sword presentation. Susie, this is you, and this is God. In this picture, God is pooping. He's been consistently pooping on you for the 8 years of your life. Really? Do you remember this? First grade, and all you wanted was a boyfriend, but all the good men were taken. So the only one you had as an option was Rusty Blumquist. Hi, Susie. You know, if all the stars in the sky were made of love, my heart would have enough celestial bodies of hot gas to light the entire universe. I don't think that makes any sense. And do you remember this time? First day of second grade, and the teacher realized that, oh my, it looks like we have 2 Susies in class. Well, we're going to have to figure out a way to distinguish the 2 of you. Yeah, we'll call you Susie, and we'll call you Attractive Susie. Okay, so if God keeps number 2-ing on me, what am I supposed to do, like sue him or something? Exactly! Well, okay, I'm in. Beautiful. Now come along. The courtroom of the afterlife awaits us. Order. As for the Honorable and Emmy-nominated Judge Snooty. Case number 666, Little Susie versus God. Thank you, baby. All right, everyone, have a seat. I want to speed through this thing. Yes, Your Honor. God, we'll start with you. Marshal! What could possibly be your motivation for striking down so hard on a single person's life? Well, you're right. May I first point out that I work in mad mysterious ways. You got to understand that the fun in a person's life The historical phenomenon for you mistreating your own offspring with such harrowing fates. No comment. God, you have provided me with absolutely no viable reasons for me not to vote against you. I find in favor of the plaintiff the amount of, quote, all God is worth. Congratulations, Susie. Your awful life with Rusty and your outrageously below average looks have finally paid off.
What the home?
What? What's wrong?
I'm not sure my reality hasn't crumbled into itself, and the entire existence of life hasn't disintegrated into the blackness of hell!
What? You never said that would happen if we won.
Of course it was Jose, but I'm afraid there's a flaw in Mr. Blister Twister's plan. So maybe you have won all that I am worth, but I'm afraid my worth is only that of the lives that I give to people. So if you feel like your life ain't worth anything, then transitively, I ain't worth anything.
Oh, I guess I never thought of it that way before. So now what happens?
Well, I guess I can do the clapping thing and we can go back to your house. And I can buy you a new cat for your troubles. Really? No!
Susie! Damn! Forgot to mention that the upstairs is staked with carbon monoxide due to your mother's car. You even flatlined there for a minute.
I was dead?
Sure were. Sorry, didn't we? Now get up. Dinner's getting colder than your mother.
Dad, I feel really bad about Mom, but I figure things could be worse. I mean, it could have gotten you too.
Sounds like you're higher than a kite from those fumes right now. Come on, dinner will sober you up a little. Plus, I invited your friend Rusty over.
Nice try, God, but you can't poop on me today. I came close to death. Now let's see if I can finally come close to living.
Up next, in the category of informative, the speaker chooses a topic that interests them, whether it be giraffes or graffiti, and researches, writes, and performs an 8-minute speech on it, complete with visuals. Similar to informative, the category of great speeches enables one to write his or her own speech. However, instead of a speech on an interesting topic, great speeches is an analysis of a great speech. It's pretty great. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage Morgan Riddle, Antu Tom, Logan Daniels, Samir Ferdowsi, David Pellegrini, and Antoine Tom.
My favorite holiday has always been the Lunar New Year. Red envelopes of money, the quality time with family, and the delicious food. Oh, more specifically than yummy treats. My favorite treat during this holiday is the candied lotus seeds. I'm amazed that something so beautiful could also taste so delicious too. So let's learn more about the lotus today by first planting a seed of facts and connections to Buddhism. Then watch it grow into its current uses today before finally blossoming into a bright future.
Now, there are 3 types of tears. One's caused to lubricate the eye, one's caused by emotions, and one's caused by irritants, such as onions. In a study done by Dr. William H. Craig from the St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center, he analyzed that tears caused by emotion actually contain more protein-based hormones, which are produced when our body gets stressed. This could explain why we usually feel better after a good cry.
I have stood here for 3 months, but I wish to make no false witness to this court. The easy thing and the popular thing to do is to hang my clients. I know it.
Nelson Mandela, Jose his speech with his vision of unity for all. Mandela concludes, I have dedicated my life to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in peace and harmony. It is an ideal for which I live for and hope to see realized. But my Lord, if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Vyacheslav Molotov rallied his people to war, victory, and the Great Patriotic War. He concludes his speech. The government of the Soviet Union calls upon you, citizens of the Soviet Union, to rally still more closely around our glorious Bolshevist party, around our Soviet government, around our great leader and comrade Stalin. Ours is a righteous cause. The enemy shall be defeated. Victory will be ours.
I address you, the members of this new Congress, at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. I use the word unprecedented because at no previous time has American security been as seriously threatened from without as it is today. Quite a bold beginning to a State of the Union address, even if it is your ninth. In 1941, a conflict now known as the largest in human history, World War II, had just begun.
Our next featured speaker is the incredible Rita Gangle. The latest in a very long line of Gangles, she has continued the family tradition by joining speech and becoming an amazing addition to our team. She has worked very hard as captain this year and finished her season by placing first in our section and qualifying to state with this informative speech entitled, More Than a Loop on Your Lapel.
In 1973, Tony Orlando, the pop singer, sang a song titled Tie Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree. In this song, Orlando sings of a husband who was sent to prison for 3 years. On the husband's return home, he worries that his wife won't care about him or even remember who he is. At the end of the song, the husband finds that his wife has tied 100 yellow ribbons around the old oak tree in remembrance and solidarity for him and God. Just like in this song, these ribbons brought attention to a cause, a husband's absence. And as we'll soon discover, ribbons are more than just a sign of hope. So today, let's first cut into the history of ribbons, pin together their different cultural significance, and finally, tie the bow, as we see how ribbons help bring attention to different causes. Throughout history, ribbons have played a part in our world. Ribbons are among the oldest decorative materials made. According to Timothy Rice, in his book Ribbon and the Art of Adornment, ribbon adornment was widely used on clothing for both aesthetic and practical purposes in the ancient world. Through the Byzantine era into the Gothic times, Mary Nono Mark of Central Washington University says that in ancient Egypt, men and women would tie a band around their head, called the fillet, which was often made out of metal, leather, or ribbon. Moving into the Gothic era, women tied their studs with ribbon, and also hung their sewing tools from their waist with ribbons, colors of which often symbolized their marital status. During the Renaissance, ribbons were so identified with luxury that the English Parliament made a rule that only the high class and elite could wear them. According to Elaine Schmidt, author of the book The Complete Photo Guide to Ribbon Crafts. Also, certain orders of merit, like the Knights of the Garter, would wear dark blue broad ribbon pants, and still do to this day. Traditionally, ribbon making was a very long and time-consuming process. So, when the Dutch engine loom came out, the production of ribbons started to increase. In the 1800s, different types of ribbons started coming out, which added more originality and spice to garments. One of those new types of ribbon was the picot edge ribbon, which started emerging in fashion trends. Now, ribbon is seen constantly throughout today's society, in clothing, shoelaces, and hair designs. As we can see, ribbons have had a long and colorful history, and are still fitting in with the ever-changing times around us. Now that we've learned about the history of ribbons, it is time to discover their cultural significance. Many cultures tie symbolism to ribbons. A Chinese proverb reads, "An invisible red thread connects destined lovers, regardless of time, place, or circumstances." According to this myth, the gods tie a red ribbon around the ankles of those who are to be together in the near future, or spend the rest of their lives together. The Japanese story is very similar to the Chinese, but instead of tying the ribbon around their ankles, they tie them around their pinky fingers. My friend, who was adopted from Japan, arrived in America with a red ribbon around her middle finger in order to stay connected to her home country. Another tradition involving ribbons is just around the corner, the maypole dance. In a New York Times article, Rich Beatty explains that the maypole dance has seduced people in Europe and America for centuries. Every springtime, celebrants following this ancient custom, erecting a maple, either cedar or birch, and dancing around it as they go, weaving colorful ribbon in and out. Sometimes they are celebrating springtime. Other times, the revelry is explicitly tied to the pagan fertility rites or ethnic history. The maypole dance isn't the only way that ribbons are used in celebration. Ribbons can also be used as a measure of success, from military awards to medals at the Olympic Games, and even at speech tournaments. Timothy Wright says, unlike a trophy or a certificate, a ribbon can be worn on the body as a sign of accomplishment, to remind society of his or her accolades. We only need to look as far as the great Minnesota get-together to find one lady who was showered in her accolades. Marjorie Johnson, whose extraordinary baking skills have won her over 2,500 fair ribbons and over 1,000 blue ribbons. Now that we have wound our way around culture and myth, it is time to learn about how ribbons tie activists to different causes. Gerald E. Parson of the American Folk Life Center believes that the wearing of the yellow ribbon began during the Civil War. He says, the yellow ribbon is for an absent loved one and is a genuine American tradition. There are many different awareness ribbons out there today. Perhaps you've been worn one yourself to support the cause. Writer Celeste LeBeau states it best. Ribbons are a great way to bring attention to a problem, a cause. We often see celebrities donning ribbons at high-profile events. Here, you see Gabrielle Union wearing the pink breast cancer ribbon, Daniel Craig wearing a yellow ribbon to remember an abducted child, and Hillary Clinton wearing a red ribbon to support AIDS and HIV. Here is another celebrity to help you get to know more of the lesser unknown ribbons in our society. For example, if you are a male and have breast cancer, you wouldn't wear a pink ribbon. You would wear a blue ribbon. Another ribbon that doesn't quite follow the pattern is the burgundy ribbon, which is to be worn upside down. It draws attention to brain aneurysms, C-sections, and hospice care. Other variations include pattern ribbons, like the jigsaw puzzle ribbon, which is for autism, and the rainbow ribbon, which is for gay pride. Ribbon wearing has even spawned large-scale advocacy. based on the colors of their ribbons. In the USA Today article, Liz Shuba writes that 84% of Americans now shop for the cure, buying pink products with a breast cancer tag. So, as this speech wraps up, we can fully understand just how important ribbons are in our society, through their humble beginnings to their cultural significance and how they bring attention to different causes. So, the next time you tie a bow on a present, pin a loop on your lapel, or see a bumper sticker on a car in front of you, you will know that a ribbon is more than just a decoration.
So, my favorite speech memory from the season definitely has to be the Marshall overnight trip. After a very long day, after a very long and hard tournament, and a delicious meal at Arby's, we sat down on our luxurious motel beds, played some cards, and ate Oreos. It was a good day.
Last night, I was on the phone with Kyle for an hour trying to figure out what my favorite speech memory was. Throughout this conversation, I came to the realization that I don't have one. Not because speech has been a bad experience, but because I have too many good speech memories to name. I have made so many new friends and had great experiences with them, which means a lot to me. I have also grown as a performer thanks to my coach. All in all, I am so happy I joined speech, and I can't wait for next season.
My favorite speech memory of this season is when I won first place in novice storytelling at the Apple Valley Tournament on February 2nd. I got a marble apple, and it was a very proud moment for me because my brothers also have marble apples. And when they called my name, I felt a rush of energy, and I knew that my team was proud of me, and I was proud of me too, for carrying on the covert legacy.
But Mom says when I was born, it was a dark night, and it was rainy and thundery, and all of the cats and dogs were under the tables. Everything was quite horrible. But Mom kissed me and looked at my face and noticed that it was round, and she said,
You are my little spoon face.
My face is round this. That is how I came to be Spoon-Faced Steinberg. Ever since I was born, my brain has been quite special. I am backwards. Mrs. Spud, who does the cleaning, says, "You are special, Spoon-Face. Why, you are one of those special little ladies I have ever met." Yeah, I am special. Best-selling author Temple Grandin once said, "I am different, not less." In the United States, it is estimated that 1 in every 150 children are born with autism. Although it may be easy to focus on how these children are different, through the struggles of spoon-facing our family, we can see that the differences we think cause us discord are the key to discovering harmony. Spoon-Faced Steinberg by Lee Hall. In operas, the singers sang like beautiful birds, and everyone held their breath. She was special. And I believe that I was supposed to be special. I believe that when I was born, God came and touched me on my head and made me special. This is all because I am autistic, and this is what I realized. Even though the beautiful singing is sad, it is still happy in a way. Mrs. Spud says, "That is why we are all different. You know, we should all be happy that every person is different. If there was no difference, we would all be the same." To me, this is obvious, and to her, some other stuff is obvious, like how to clean the toilet. That is why we are all different. When I first started feeling funny, that is when I still had hair. I was very tired, and mom was very worried. So she took me straight to the doctor, and there they put me inside of a tube, and inside the tube they would find out what it was. And the tube, it spit out numbers, and it said that I was going to die. So I asked Mrs. Spud where I got my cancer from. "I don't know, Spoon-Face. I think I got it off God." "Spoon-Face, God does not have cancer." "As far as we know." "Maybe he's just not telling anybody." "Spoon-Face, if God has cancer, we are all in trouble." So I went to the doctor every day for the next 3 weeks, and there they put a special thing in my arm, and the doctor said, "Oh, it must be horrible having diarrhea." But I said that I didn't mind, because that's just what Beethoven had when he wrote his music. Deafness and diarrhea. And he wrote beautiful music. But I started getting worse than I already was, and the doctor said that I was still full of cancer. So mom and I talked about me dying. "I am going to die." "Spoon-Face, there is hope. There is always hope. No, God saves millions of people every single day." Well, when you think about it, dying, it is very hard to do, to be and never to be again. You will not be here for your breakfast, or to see you, or Dad, or Mrs. Spud, or to feel anything anymore. But there will still be cows, and grass, and radios, and telephones, and soup, and hats, and shoes, and sunshine, and rain, and Dad, and Mrs. Spud, and the whole world will be full except me! I love beautiful operas and how the beautiful women sing. Because it is very important to everyone to have such songs be sung. I remember what Mrs. Spudge told me.
Spoonplay. The trouble is when people are around, they forget that they are special. And when they are gone, it is too late to tell them. Spoonface, you must always tell them.
If I could ever grow up, I would be one of the sad singers. Yeah, and people would clap and cheer for the poor lady who died so well. Yes, it is very important to everyone to have such songs be sung. And I know that even in the darkest place, there is always someone with a beautiful song to sing.
That was Spoonface Steinberg, performed by senior speech captain Sierra Sherwood. Sierra joined the team as a freshman, and last year I had the honor of being Sierra's Yule partner. To be honest, when I heard I would be performing with her, I was intimidated. She is a 3-time state medalist, the 2012 state champion in duo, a 2-time national qualifier, and this year she won the national qualifying tournament in drama. Next year, Sierra will be attending Point Park University's Conservatory for the Performing Arts for theater. I consider myself so lucky to have stood next to such an amazing performer and friend. What Sierra so elegantly demonstrated is the category of drama. Drama and prose are categories in which a speaker chooses an 8 to 10 minute segment of a play or book to perform. As is implied by the name, these categories deal with heavy topics ranging from terminal illness to drug abuse. However depressing these selections may appear, after the 10 minutes, characters reach enlightenment and allow the audience a sigh of relief. Without further ado, in prose, we have Miranda Anderson, Nico Aries, Glenda Clegg, Christina Corey, Kyle Christensen, Adam Koob, Aaron Shannon, Eric Sobiak, Rachel Tadson, Jordan Breeby, Emma Erler, and in drama we have Carly Abbott, Paige Mangan, Rachel Peterson, and Stella.
I walked to the doorway of Mom and Dad's new bathroom, and that mirror too, broken down the middle. 2 mirrors in one day? I can only see half my face, and it's all jagged and crooked. I look at the broken girl in the mirror, and I try to lie to her. It's no big deal. It's an accident. Everyone has accidents. But the girl in the mirror knows it's all a lie. Something has happened.
The wolf has claws, but I didn't see them for quite a long time. I remember the night of his birthday in colors. There was the beetle green glitter on the eyelids of one of the theater girls, and the guy with the massive salty white hair, the red on my skirt, and the swirls and layers of liquor that was poured into shot glasses as we competed to drink more. I got drunk. We all did. I was heady, giggly, and high. And suddenly, alone.
To sing for us. Sonambula, non credia mirarti. Brava, I salute your courage. They say I was unsurpassed in the role, but I don't want this class to disintegrate into a discussion of
personalities. I won't let it happen. So, Nambula, do you mind if I do it? I don't want you to imitate me. I mean, I never want any of you to imitate me. I merely want to show you how I did it. So hard to say what I mean. It's so much easier to show you.
Hello, my name is Olga. Now, when I first come to the modeling agency, I was introduced to the owner. He said he wanted to interview me. He asked me why I was interested in becoming a model. Well, I told him it was because I needed to make money for my family. We were very poor. After the interview, he took photos of me. Oh, and I saw flashes of myself on the cover of Vogue.
My dad had attended Culver Creek, the same boarding school to which I was headed. I think he liked the idea of me following in his footsteps, but no. It wasn't because of Dad. Not exactly. I went into my dad's study and got his biography of Francois Rabelais. So this guy, Francois Rabelais, he was this poet. And his last words were, "I go to seek a great perhaps." That's why I'm going. So I don't have to wait until I die till I start seeking a great perhaps. And that quieted them. I was going to seek a great perhaps. And they knew as well as I that I wasn't going to find it in Florida.
And before I knew it, I was totally blind. Of course, all this was happening while I was in college. And you think classes I had. My roommate, Jane, was a deaf student. It helped. Being in the company of the other's disability was a comfort of sorts. So we had a good sense of humor about it. Our answering machine, for example. Hi, you've reached Ryan and Jane's answering machine. We're probably at home right now, but Jane didn't hear the phone again, and I can't find it, so leave a message. Or just come over and help.
I murdered Herschel. Or what I did was as good as murdering him. No, he would have been murdered with or without me. They came in the most darkest time of the night. They had just come from one town and would go to another after. They stopped their tanks, and for a moment I was so foolish as to think they decided to go back to Germany and end the war. Because nobody likes wars. Not even those who survive it. Not even the winners. They did not, of course. They simply stopped their tanks in front of the synagogue.
I play these images and events in my mind and relive them, searching for a message, the reason. There has to be one in there. But the mind numbs, so you can look at the dead and kill the living. It allows us to solidly march on, even through the soft spots.
Hi, I'm Marty, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I was born in a small town. My family lived in a little neighborhood with rows of identical houses, but we belonged to Christ the King, our church, and my school. Anyways, before I go on, I want to make sure everyone got a chance to see this photo. It was taken on a pond in the Rockies about 2 hours outside of Denver. It's of me when I was 12, and it's followed me around forever.
I picked up the bottle still half full of pills. It practically glowed in my hands. The worst always happened. Why did I keep forgetting that? Now I saw this was not just a bottle. It was a door. You climbed through the round neck of the bottle and ended up somewhere else entirely. You could escape. cash in your chips.
I'm not sure what I think about death, but I've looked into its eyes one time, and it was horrible. Last winter, my mom drove us to school one morning. Suddenly, a dog flew into the path of the brown car in front of us. I watched as the dog, twisting and turning, seemed to bend up, flip over, and turn inside out. In that moment, I saw the dog's eyes. And in that second, the dog stopped squirming. His eyes seemed to lock onto mine as life left him. I wasn't watching a dog then. I was looking at death, looking back at me.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. I hate Christmas. 22 silver balls, the whole, shh, I think I hear reindeer on the roof. Santa Claus is coming. All that. And I can't believe my mother pulled that crap on me. The only part of all that I like is the angel. Steve got me this the first Christmas we were married. We put it atop of the tree every year. It reminds me of him. And it's the only reason why I hate today.
Not that it matters much in the larger view of things, but I come to depend on certain elements of the day. Certain shapes, patterns that neatly plug into my daily routine. I depend on it, I really do. Certain things you can depend on. You depend on them no matter how unjustified. You know, sometimes I just paint for hours and hours. My work has a texture to it you won't see in other portraits. The others, they're nice and everything, good likeness, but they're lifeless, like wax apples.
And then Atticus did something he didn't ordinarily do. He unhitched his watch and chain and placed them on the table, saying, "With the court's permission?" Judge Taylor nodded. And then Atticus did something I never saw him do, before or since, in public or in private. He unbuttoned his vest, unbuttoned his collar, loosened his tie, and took off his coat. He never loosened a scrap of clothing until bedtime, and to Jem and me, this was the equivalent of him standing before us stark naked. We exchanged horrified glances.
I was first cast on David Kelly's hit show, Ally McBeal. I was excited. I was wondering what my brand new life would be like. But with that excitement came a little bit of fear. I worried that they would immediately see that I wasn't some special girl, that I was merely an average girl. Average. The worst word in the English language. To me, there was no point in doing anything if you were average. So after my first day of Ally, I needed to start over. I needed to become the fabulous Nell Porter, and I had to play the role of a celebrity.
These next three categories try to persuade the audience that they are right. Every Saturday morning, the students in these categories discuss and solve the world's problems. Oratory is a persuasive speech written by the student. Extemp speaking is a draw category where the student tries to answer and solve a current event problem. And discussion, well, that's self-explanatory. It's a discussion. So please, sit back as you're convinced, persuaded, and informed. Welcome these students to the stage. Grace Alexander, Emmy Inwards, Radha Kalarva, Sungwoo Lim, Ann Tutong, Dean Yoneen, Emilio Gelman, Sophia Rossini, Raymond Zhang, David Pellegrini, and Matt Lauer.
Words have a profound impact on us and the people around us. Words are a way for us to express ourselves and express our feelings towards others. But we often ignore the impact of our words on the people around us, and also how they affect the way people perceive us. What we need to do is to choose our words more carefully. So today, let's spell out the positive uses of words in society, then express the negative uses of words before finally saying a solution to our word predicament.
I will not eat a chicken nugget. Ever. Not even if you triple dog dared me. Not after Jamie Oliver. You might have heard of him. He did a show on ABC about America and how unhealthy we are. Well, he showed this clip where he made a chicken nugget from scratch, and it was disgusting. He didn't use anything I would consider real meat, and it looked just like every other chicken nugget I've ever seen. There are tons of processed foods that are filled with things that aren't supposed to be in them, like the chicken nugget. The American diet has relied too much on heavily processed foods, and it's causing major health concerns.
Kim Jong-un. Can we trust him? The answer, unfortunately, is no. On February 12th, 2013, according to CNN, Kim Jong-un tested a nuclear device underground. From threatening to reignite the Korean War to attacking America with nuclear missiles that he doesn't have, he has quite an appetite for causing international tensions. So what motivates Kim Jong-un? The answer can be told in three simple ways. The first is that he is trying to live up to his father's legacy. The second is for him and his country to lead China and not the other way around. And finally, to show North Korean dominance over the United States of America.
All of us are average at something, and that shouldn't be a point of shame. It may not be something to brag about to the neighbors, but it's nothing to shy away from. So go ahead, pull out that flute that would never get you into Juilliard, or try those skateboard tricks that would make Tony Hawk laugh, because there's nothing wrong with being perfectly average. Who knows? Maybe next time we play volleyball in gym class, I won't sit out. I'll have the most average game the world's ever seen.
Before we get to the bottom of things, we must first recognize that race is a tough topic to face. So instead, let's approach things from behind and gluteus maximize our knowledge of racial separation. We can then ask how this modern segregation is affecting us before finally taking a crack at overcoming this archaic argument by integrating our many different cultures and seeing how our unique assets can bring us together.
Nina Ilyasov, Associate Professor of Sociology at the University of Southern California, reveals that inactivity is the normal state of affairs. And unfortunately, her statement rings true. As self-interest characterizes our society, we become detached and apathetic towards the events that have no direct influence on our own lives.
Radha, would you like to read the task?
Yes. You are members of the school board facing large budget cuts. Some have suggested cutting funding for arts programs and activities such as speech. Analyze the advantages of such programs and weigh them against the benefits of improving other school functions, such as security and special education. Decide whether or not to cut the programs and give a detailed list of reasons for your decision.
Okay, so before, wait, David.
Just
No,
hold on a sec.
David.
So before we start, can I just set an agenda just to give a little bit of clarity to the round?
Fine.
Is it okay with the group?
Yes.
So first we need to have some clarifications on the task. Like I'm sure we can go through and see what we think needs to be changed.
I
what
think we
to
need
interpret.
clarifications
Hold
on
I need
clarification.
to get through my agenda.
What? Okay.
Okay.
Finish.
Then we need to look through some background. So maybe some background on budget cuts in other schools and seeing what other programs are saying. No, just hold on. And then we need to look at both the pros and cons of such
fine arts
What
programs
does
such
pro
as-
and con stand
Well,
for?
I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Come on
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Well, I don't.
such as like speech, and we'll look at speech specific.
I think,
Yes.
David, I think you should let some of the other people have a moment to speak as
Thank
well.
you, Rada.
I think Dean had something he wanted to say.
Yeah. I'd like to say that, as members of the speech community, we all know that it's really stupid.
Yeah.
And that cutting could, have no negative benefits on
I see
anything.
what you're trying to
Yeah, it's great.
I have here a citation from the University of Stanford that says that
Which Stanford? There are multiple Stanfords.
the Stanford University in California
all right,
of
okay.
the United States of America.
Okay.
Matt.
Okay, thank you.
It says that schools that foster an arts program typically have stronger ACT scores
Well,
and have.
It's a lot of money. I mean, according to Ra's confessions at Twitter, Mr. Hemmerlin makes almost $1 million a year. We don't need
See,
that.
nobody
We don't
needs
need
that.
Nobody needs that.
We do need it. According to the New York Times from January 2013, it is proven to boost ACT scores and lower high school dropouts.
But we need more high school dropouts. Have you seen the rates?
Rada, I just think you're wrong in this case.
I agree. You are wrong.
David.
Do you have any evidence to say that these?
Yeah, David, do you have any evidence? I don't think your sources were very well qualified.
No,
And
she's-
I think the rest of the discussion
Rada-
group here would support me in
Stop.
saying that.
Stop, Rada.
You're stupid.
God.
The next full-length performance you will be seeing is from one of our captains, Logan Daniels. Logan is a senior this year and has been on our speech team since he was a sophomore. Logan has been in many different categories, starting off in humor, drifting to informative, and finally finding his home in original oratory. He is versatile, to say the least. This season, Logan has been one of our top competitors, winning the Marshall Tournament, constantly finaling at the regular Saturday tournaments, and being the first orator from Roz to qualify for the national tournament. Outside of speech, Logan is a state champion in debate, an avid participant in theater and choir, and a national merit scholar, and has been able to maintain a 4.0 GPA to top it off. I now present to you my friend and our fearless leader, Logan Daniels, performing his original oratory entitled, Pick Your Poison.
So last year, I decided to paint my room, but I could not believe how many colors there were at Home Depot. I mean, they've got Persian yellow, Ottoman red, Chinese blue. There's a whole empire of colors at your disposal. Wait, no, hold on. Okay. I was at the grocery store, but have you seen how many different cereals they have these days? There are 19 different varieties of just shredded wheat. Seriously? Oh, that was bad. Okay. I was watching TV when I realized that choosing a show to watch wasn't even remotely possible. Okay, I admit it. I couldn't choose an attention getter to use. And because I'm psychic, I know what you're thinking. This guy's stupid, and why did he have so much trouble with such a simple decision? Well, let me tell you, minus a little bit of exaggeration, experiences like mine are not that uncommon. It's all about choice. Psychologist Barry Schwartz, author of the book The Paradox of Choice, puts it like this. Choice is good. It's necessary in enabling us to live the kinds of lives we want to live. But too much choice can result in a paralyzing uncertainty, selfishness, and even depression. And that's my concern. As Americans, we are both overwhelmed by and obsessed with choice. So today, let's first paint on a primer and examine the cultural origins of our choice obsession. Then, before our cereal gets soggy, we'll look at the psychology and consequences, and finally, broadcast some solutions to our decision-making debacle. So, why does Home Depot offer so many colors? To answer this question, let's look at why we care so much about choice, and if it's even our choice to value choice. As it turns out, your environment might have a lot more to do with it than you think. Professor Sheena Iyengar of Columbia University conducted a study in which she offered a selection of beverages to people from formerly communist nations in Eastern Europe. She offered them Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, 7 refreshing choices in total. Yet, when asked how many choices were available, the vast majority of participants answered just one. They could either have soda or not have soda. See, because they grew up in communist nations where choice was neither as possible nor as important as in America, they were less sensitive to such insignificant choices as soda selection. Now, compare that to America, where some Coke machines literally offer 127 different sodas. So we get to choose between a Diet Caffeine-Free Cherry Vanilla Coke with lemon and Diet Caffeine-Free Cherry Vanilla Coke with lime. It's a tough but oh so refreshing choice. See, our nation's rallying cry is and always has been, give me liberty or give me death. And this extreme dichotomy permeates the American psyche, and it influences every aspect of our lives. The economy depends on it, politics embodies it, and citizens demand it. But it really does affect us. In an article in the Boston Review entitled "Choose Your Choice, The American Obsession," states that Americans are more likely to work harder when it's their choice to do so, and also to just feel happier when they believe they have more choice. We make choice a part of the American identity, but paradoxically, rather than using all that extra choice to become more free, we instead come to rely on it. Now, hopefully you're starting to see how real our obsession with choice really is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stand here and advocate just getting rid of all of our choices. I just think we need to recognize the glut of choices that we face and find some ways to handle it. Because while at face value it does seem like having more and more choices could only make our lives better, the research tells a different story. Namely, that we suck at choices. One of the reasons that it's so difficult to navigate the never-ending aisles of choice is the concept of decision fatigue. Take it from journalist and, judging by his name, probable future dictator, John Tyranny. He writes for the New York Times in 2011 that no matter how high-minded or rational you try to be, you just can't make decision after decision without paying a biological price. He goes on to summarize what countless other scientific studies have shown. You start each day with a finite amount of decision fuel, and it gets used up with each choice you make. When it's all gone, if you try to make a decision, chances are you'll do one of two things. Either you'll act impulsively and take the easiest option out, or you'll just skip the decision altogether. So, yes, when your essay is the last one the teacher grades, good luck. To put decision fatigue into better context, though, just right now, stop and think about how many choices you make on the average day. It's a lot. And after a full day of choosing what cereal to eat, what sweater to wear, what website to visit, and what TV show to watch, you end up exhausted. I know I do. The thing is, all that extra selection, it's not just making those choices harder. It's actually sapping our ability to choose and leaving us unable to decide on the things that truly do matter, like relationships and family. There is, however, a second piece to this puzzle. You see, a famous jam study was conducted in 1995 involving grocery store customers. And it showed that the more different jams people were offered, the less likely they were to buy any jam at all. It's a textbook example of a really fun term to say. Analysis paralysis, a feeling that I am all too familiar with. See, last summer I told myself I was going to start working out. But I got all caught up in choosing the perfect routine and the most efficient combination of carbohydrates and proteins. In the end, I set the bar too high. So I got this tall guy in the gym to lower it. And then I heaved these two massive 5-pound weights on either side of that bar. And I lifted it a couple of times. And voila. Okay, so I didn't get very much done. Now, this instance of paralysis probably seems pretty trivial, and it is, but then I start to think and worry about my future. I mean, I haven't even started college yet, and I'm already convinced that I've chosen the wrong major, the wrong college, and the wrong career. It feels like with every door I go through, I'm just shutting 50 others, and it's paralyzing. I don't do anything, and I feel stupid. But I'm not alone. People these days come out of high school and then college feeling progressively less satisfied with life. Because with so many choices, it's easy to imagine that we made the wrong ones. But it shouldn't be that way. And it doesn't need to be that way. So, instead of the TV guide, let me be your guide to finding some simple solutions to surviving the decision-making debacle. First, you should take the advice of psychologist Richard Boyatzis. He advises choosing one core value to base your decision upon in the end, no matter what. Maybe price, or functionality, or the elusive swag factor. That way, no matter how bogged down in the decision-making process you might get, you will always make a choice that stays true to your original intent. Next, live like President Barack Obama, who, according to the Harvard Business Review, deliberately pares down his choices of what to eat or what to wear so that he can focus on the things that matter and conserve his decision fuel for the day. And lastly, if you found a choice where you can honestly say that you're satisfied, don't go looking for a better option. Just go with it. And chances are you'll be happier and better off. So, I still haven't chosen an attention getter, and you probably still see 7 sodas as 7 different choices. You can't change everything that quickly. What we can do is start simplifying our lives and stop overloading ourselves with so many choices. Each of us does need to choose to make that happen, but as far as choices go, I'd say that this one is pretty clear.
The next category is twice as exciting as all the rest. Being the only category performed with a buddy, there is double the personality, double the laughs, and double the tears. To make things interesting, there is no eye contact and there is no touching between partners. Strange. Sounds a lot like our middle school dances. Please welcome up your double trouble competitors in dramatic duo interpretation. Kyle Christensen and Eve Palmer, Andrew Bates and Grace Alexander, Rachel Peterson and Eric Sobiak, Sierra Sherwood and Sophie Miliotis, and Dean Doneen and Paige Egley.
Must you make things so complex, Oedipus? In a healthy marriage, you work through things like this.
In a healthy marriage, you're not married to your mom.
So, do you want to see a marriage counselor?
No, Mom, I want a divorce.
I never thought I'd hear such a thing from my own son.
Well, I never thought I'd be married to my own mother, but here we are.
You know, you carry a child for 9 months, you nurse it, you care for its whole life, and...
You abandoned me.
Okay, so I wasn't the perfect mother.
So, this is just the sad version of us.
I guess.
But there are other versions where everything goes our way.
Right.
That's a nice thought. That somewhere out there, I'm having a good time.
I know this probably doesn't make things any better, but I wanted you to know how terrible I feel about Danny. I know that no matter how hard this has been on me, I can never understand the depth of your loss. Could you tell your husband for me? I know he's probably mad, but...
Oh, he's not mad. Nobody's mad.
What about her prom dress?
For God's sakes, she's 2 years old.
I know, but
Just remind her that her shoes have to match her bag.
Catholic school?
Don't be ridiculous.
Boys?
Boys?
You know, the good from the bad, the naughty from the nice.
Honey, usually the naughty are the nice.
Then,
Just make sure that none of them have Judy in their lunchbox. You'll be fine.
it's not what I meant, Stephen.
I know what you meant, Anne. You'll be fine.
I don't want to be fine without you.
You'll be fine.
Oh, hi, Arthur. I didn't hear the door.
Well, hello, Marion.
I was going to ask you if you're thinking of taking this painting, because if you're not going to, then I will. Unless, of course, you want it.
No, you can have it. Just one less thing to pack.
Funny, that is exactly what I thought. One less thing to pack. You know, I didn't come here to raid the place.
Well, was there anything else of Colin's you just thought you might like to have?
I feel so stupid, but actually, I made a list. Most of the things are silly, like his high school yearbooks. What would you want with those, right?
Sure. I'm only interested in his gay period.
Oh, no. I didn't mean it that way. Anyway, you look over the list. Whatever you decide to keep or not keep would be fine with me.
Well, it would have to be, wouldn't it? I mean, it's all mine now. He did leave all of this, well, to me.
Come in, child! So you have a thing for this human. Ah, he is quite a catch. Mm-hmm. He is very handsome. Angel Fish, the solution to your problem is simple. Become a human yourself. You could do that? Child, that is what I do. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch. I know a little magic. I use it on behalf of the miserable, lonely, depressed, and pathetic. Hey! Now, I will turn you into a human for 3 days. Before the sun sets on the 3rd day, you've got to get Princey to fall in love with you. He got to kiss you. Hey! Then you'll remain human permanently. But if he doesn't, then you belong to me!
We want you to thank you for supporting us in our fabulous 2013 speech season by coming to Ovation tonight. It was a year of talent, success, suspense, hard work, laughter, tears, memory, and friendship, keeping the Roseville speech legacy going for yet another year. If you want to experience part of that legacy, be sure to try out for speech next fall, and if you want to experience it even sooner, check out our legacy wall upstairs by the Media Center. Thank you all again for coming. We are Roseville, and we are Speech! Our next featured speakers are my friends Emma Erler and Joe Brady. performing their dramatic duo, Tribes, by Nina Rain. Emma and Jordan, both seniors, have experienced tremendous success in their 4-year speech careers. Both earning 2 state medals, Emma has won first place in duo 2 years in a row. Emma went to the national tournament last year, and both will be attending this year performing this piece. Also on the national circuit, this piece won 3rd at the very prestigious Harvard tournament. After this success, Emma and Jordan will both be embarking on new adventures next fall, with Emma attending the University of Puget Sound in Seattle, Washington, and Jordan at Loyola University in Chicago, Illinois. Emma Erler and Jordan Reedy.
Ooh, sorry, I don't dine, I read lips.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sylvia,
Billy.
you didn't understand anything I just said.
Nope.
I said
Wait, can you show me in dine?
I signed quite a party, but I saw that you weren't talking to anyone.
They're all dining, and it seemed like everyone knows everyone.
Oh, well, your lip reading is incredible. How come I haven't seen you around? It's a very small world.
My parents are both hearing.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, I'm not that grown up. Are you an interpreter?
No, just fluent in sign. Parents are both deaf. And I thought that everyone's parents spoke like that. Until I lost my mom in the supermarket when I was 5. And I realized.
Just like I thought everyone's parents walked around in the nude, shouting at each other.
Well, they do.
Will you show me?
What?
No. Die. Academy Award-winning actress Marlee Matlin believed, "The handicap of deafness is not in the ear, it is in the mind."
An accomplished deaf woman, Matlin understood that oftentimes perception can be far more crippling than disability.
This sentiment applies to Billy, a young deaf man who was raised to believe that his lack of hearing is a handicap.
And to Sylvia, who grew up hearing among her deaf parents.
As their relationship begins, Sylvia's hearing fades, and her own world becomes as silent as Billy's.
Through their struggle, they learned that while they may not be able to hear with their ears,
They can listen with their hearts.
Tribes.
By Nina Rain.
Let's practice finger spelling. Flower. Finger spell.
FLOWWER.
Flower.
Oh,
It's a sign poem.
wow.
Yeah, so I should go.
Oh, no, don't go on. We have chemistry. And die.
The more ambiguous or figurative something is, the harder it is to get across.
Like what?
I love someone to death. I could say it, but it's not what I would sign because, well, literally speaking, it's not true. I'm not sure what to say now.
I'm sorry.
No. Bye.
Stupid. Sylvia, I'm sorry.
No. Why did you kiss me?
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. Why'd you kiss me? Sylvia? Sylvia. Sylvia!
Oh, hi.
How come you're up?
I just feel a bit blech. I don't know.
Sylvia, Are you deaf?
No, not yet. I can still hear. Other people have just stopped making sense.
Then what?
Well, it started a year ago, and it's going all the time now. Eventually, it will all be gone. It was passed down from my parents. There was a chance that it wouldn't, but you know, I can't recognize music anymore. It's like laughing, shouting, or crying. They all sound the same now.
You'll get used to it.
What?
That. Well, I'm going up. Are you coming?
No, I'll stay down here a bit. I'm fine. Go. Turn it off.
Whoa, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Did you want to say something to me?
There are carol singers outside.
Well, they've come to the wrong place, haven't they?
Billy, I'm not going to deaf group tonight.
Why?
Because I need to keep a part of myself separate. My whole life can't be deaf.
They didn't die.
I can't.
What happened?
Nothing.
I can tell something happened, so tell me.
Okay. I can't hear my voice anymore. I can feel that it's gone. I can hear that it's gone. You know, no one told me it was going to be this noisy going deaf. It's this buzz, this roar. You're lucky always having been deaf. You don't know what you're missing.
But you can die.
But most people who can sign are deaf. The circle of people you can talk to just gets smaller and smaller.
It's just because you're panicking. You're panicking.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Why did you stop going to your lip reading classes?
Because it was depressing. It was a self-help group full of miserable people losing a massive part of their lives. And I was one of them, getting that deaf frown on my face that my sister got, and my brain just hurting because you never get time off from
I
it.
know what it's like to be deaf.
But you don't know what it's like going deaf. I'm going deaf, Billy. And I don't know who I am anymore. I just keep thinking, am I turning into somebody different?
Sylvia, you can turn into a dull deaf person, listening all the time, miserable, not saying anything. I was that before you. Look at me.
When I met you, you took me in and you taught me sign. I fit. I was alone. And now I'm not.
You are scared of losing your hearing. But I have never had more in my life. Because of you. I just wanted to. So you are leaving me?
No.